Hello everybody, this is B Wildcat 2. I'm bringing you today my Texas Rangers MLB 11 The Show home run montage. And I've got a very special guest with me today. I've got my boss on the line.
What's up, everybody? This is nadasfan, aka Sports Gaming Universe, or you can call me Matt. Whatever. You just call me whatever you want to call me, really.
I call him the boss man because he's awesome. Alright, so today you can watch the footage in the background. What we are going to talk about today is the new baseball games. At the time we are making this, we are about a week away from the release of MLB 12 The Show and MLB 2K12. And not going to get too involved into this conversation, but I've heard rumors saying that this may be the last video game that 2K Sports does for the baseball series. So,
Well, and really good riddance, wouldn't you say?
well, the since they've started, I personally enjoyed MLB 2K10 and 11, so I want to see how 12 unfolds. But as far as like they made one before MLB 2K10, they were third in a one-man race basically. So yeah, they were not.
Yeah, I hear you. I've enjoyed both 2K10 and 11 myself, mainly for the My Player mode,
Yes,
is where I spend 90% of my time in those games, and I do enjoy the variety when I'm not playing the show.
it's very good. I enjoy it. But the thing is, like, most of the games before that had sucked. So you got to give them credit for introducing the My Player and getting back into the race. They're not in first, but they've improved their graphics. They've gotten better. They're at least making some competition. I'd like to see them stick around and see if they can carry on this rivalry with the show, even though the show is clearly the leader right now as we speak. But if they don't, if 2K stops, do you think EA is going to pick up the contract to make a baseball game?
I think EA almost has to jump back into the game. I mean, I think people long for the days of MVP baseball and would like to see what they could do if given the reins back again. But yeah, I'd love to see something challenge the show. To make every game that comes out for baseball a better game because I think everybody wins with variety and a choice and competition.
Yeah, maybe 2K Sports and EA can get an agreement where 2K can produce football games again and EA can produce baseball games again. That would please everybody, I believe, in this case.
You'd have to love it. I mean, I don't know. The exclusive contract is great for a league who wants to sell to the highest bidder and all that. But I think as a gamer, in the standpoint of a gamer, you can only benefit from competition. It makes everybody be on their game just that much more. And if they're not, they're going to hear about it and they're going to want to improve.
Yeah. Okay, so first off, we are going to start with MLB 12 The Show, and you have not gotten your copy yet, but if you do, you're probably going to get the show for advanced review and to write your little online dealy with Machinima.
Yeah, definitely hoping Machinima hooks me up. I have not heard whether it'll be the show or 2K yet, but I should be getting one of them to review, and they'll probably handle one of them in-house. But whichever I get, I'll be eagerly awaiting the arrival.
Yes, and I've heard you say this before, but I'm just going to reiterate on this. You say you're looking most forward to the Diamond Dynasty mode, which is like an ultimate team of sorts, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Being an Ultimate Team junkie in the Madden series specifically, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with the baseball version, and that is the Diamond Dynasty. So just kind of looking at what they're talking about, it reads just like an Ultimate Team setup. Basically, you're gonna collect every aspect of a team, put it together. From the collection aspect to getting them on the field and playing with them. So it'll be interesting to see how that translates to the game of baseball.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Maybe we can get a few games in. Verlander versus Sabathia live on SGU. That'd be cool.
That's right, man.
Anyway, you heard something about pulse pitching is new this year?
Yeah, pulse pitching looks interesting. It's a new take on pitching. Every year they try to put a fresh coat on pitching. Last year was going to the analog controls, which was a little bit behind. That's the one thing 2K was doing that was a little bit revolutionary was the analog controls as far as pitching. Although I think they made it a little too complicated in my mind. So I kind of liked what the show did with theirs last year. I know I was using analog pitching and hitting. I know a lot of people said they stuck with the buttons, but it's nice again to have options.
Exactly.
So with the pulse pitching, it looks kind of neat. It's another way to just kind of instead of hitting your spot every time, you're going to have to hit that pulse just right to hit your spots, and so it just adds another element of challenge, I guess you would say.
Yeah, and also they have the uh, analog zone hitting, I believe is what they call it. I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
Yeah, they're calling it zone analog
Yes,
batting,
that's what it is.
and really, I don't know that it's that much different. That it has been basically the right analog stick will be the stride and swing, it says, but if you choose, you can control where in the zone you swing. So, like,
Like use the left stick
high,
and
right,
move it to where
exactly.
the ball's going to be.
So I kind of picture that being a little bit more wide open controls, a la the NHL series, when you can really have some control over your stick movement in this, and in this case, your bat movement. So it should be interesting to see how that plays out.
You heard anything that they've changed about their broadcast presentation?
Yeah, that's one thing as a person who produces videos out of all these games. That's something that really piques my attention, and it's something that might go lost on a lot of gamers. But that's just how I am. I look at things in presentation elements because I'm going to be working with those a lot when I'm producing YouTube videos, those kind of things. So yeah. So basically, what they've done is building on their real-time camera system, where instead of cut scenes all the time, you're going to get uh, cuts to live action throughout from different camera angles. And now you're going to get it even more so in between pitches. They'll show close-ups of pitchers, getting ready for the next pitch, batters in the box. So just adding a little more realism per se to the broadcast. And so I've seen some of it play out in some of the early gameplay that we're seeing out there on the internet, but it'll be interesting to see once you're actually playing how how true to life it is, and how let's say hopefully not repetitive it becomes.
Yeah, when I first heard that they had something new with television style presentation, I was like, huh, they must have changed up their anchors. Maybe we can get rid of Matt Excursion. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, rats. So
You can always
yeah,
dream, right?
exactly.
But no, somebody had the greatest idea a while back, and I don't know how you'd really do it. Maybe as DLC, but just to be able to download each team's
Yes,
broadcast setup. But boy, can you imagine just calling every team's broadcast
that'd be cool.
partners in to record?
Whoever is the first game to incorporate that, I think they'd be the best video game of all time. Just because, like,
Well, it'd be great because you can just grab the ones you want,
exactly,
you know?
region by region, whoever's the home team, you get their broadcasters just like in real life. Uh, it's like, are you playing a video game or is this real life? So
Yeah.
they
Well,
say the show is realistic. If they're so realistic, why don't they do region by region or yeah, team by team broadcasters? That'd be a great innovation, invention, innovation.
yeah, it's something I think you'd probably see somewhere down the line, and I think they took a nice step last year as far as the camera angles and having each team's unique camera angle as far as like their center field
Yeah,
cam, their basic TV cam available. So, I know some people aren't real fond of it, but say my twins, that you've got that real high centered, above the pitching mound shot, whereas some are just kind of right behind and low to the field, just depending on how they're set in real life, and it makes it fun if you're playing a franchise to kind of see the varied cameras as you go along from park to park.
Yeah. And then you were talking about this earlier, the PlayStation Vita integration. You made a video about it. It looks very interesting. The problem is it worth it in all honesty if you can't like record off of it? I think that's the main question. Can you get something to hook up to your Vita to record your show footage, or will you just have to play it on the PS3 to?
Yeah, no, and of course that's not the problem for the average gamer. That's the problem for me as a YouTube video producer. But that's kind of a narrow scope. I think for the general fan, that enjoys baseball, that is on the go a lot. If you have a PlayStation Vita or you're thinking about getting one, it's something to check out because now not just in this game but in others you can be playing on your console, go ahead and make a save on your franchise or your road to the show, whatever you're playing, and say you're going on vacation for a week, load that into your Vita and take that same road to the show character or that same franchise save with you and just play it while you're gone. For me, it would be very frustrating because I'd be recording everything I do, and so therefore every time I switch to the Vita, I really wouldn't have that option. It's looking more and more like until somebody comes up with some kind of a capture system for it.
Yeah.
But definitely for the average gamer, it's a little daunting thinking, oh, you might have to buy this game twice, plus new portable hardware.
Cost you about.
But if you have it and you're an early adopter of these gadgets, then definitely check that out because it's a unique new way to play.
Exactly. And if you have about $300 to waste, that'd be a good investment, I think. And I found
Right.
something that will make you happy: improved load times on the show.
Yes, amen, amen. People in my live streams will be very thankful for that as well. They will not fall asleep watching the antics of Joe Broadway or whoever the player du jour will
I think the
be.
statistics is the most interesting part of that, though.
The statistics are great, but you only need, maybe 10 seconds to get what's on there and let's go. We don't need a minute and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
At least if they have to make it at that long, they need to change it up. Like instead of just showing the same statistics, like have it alternate. Like every 15 or 20 seconds, show a new set of statistics.
yeah, yeah. And they do, I think they did as well as they could. I mean, some of the statistics are actually kind of interesting. And, if you're a baseball nut, you kind of are into those statistics and find that interesting. But man, I think where load times really get me, it's fine if I played a game, I played 9 innings. Yeah, that might be my time to unwind, get a drink or something. But if I'm playing Road to the Show and you have condensed games already and you spend more time in your loading times than you do in actual gameplay, that's a
Yes,
problem.
definitely. Um,
There's got to be a better way to preload Road to the Show, in my
so
opinion.
basically, I'm gonna make a transition here. Load times. Is it better for the load times better in my player or Road to the Show?
I think they're a little bit better in my player, from what I am remembering. Now I've played more Road to the Show lately, so maybe I'm imagining that, but no, but I think definitely my experience has been that it's been better in my player, but the overall experience of the mode is still better in Road to the Show.
Yes, and switching over to my 2K hat, if you will. We'll talk about some of that because either way you're going to get both of these. So this will interest some people, if not about maybe 15 people will be interested in this. But
Yeah, well, Justin Verlander's got a vested interest, that's
true,
for sure.
and people that don't have a PS3 are interested in this. So
Yeah, by default.
definitely,
Yeah, that's
and
that's
that's
true. Unfortunately, boy, I'd rather be the person that only had the PS3 and could fall back to the show than the person that only had the 360.
yeah,
But you're talking to somebody who bought a PS3 specifically to play the show series.
exactly. I think that's why I got the PS3 for Christmas is just so I could play the show. I mean,
Yeah, it's a console seller, that's for
I
sure.
mean, growing up with the original, the PS2 and the original show games, and even then, even with worse graphics, it was still better in my opinion. So, right, we're gonna talk about some of the new features for 2K12. Um,
Well, you definitely don't have to scroll very much to check out the features on this one. It's not it's the opposite of robust, shall we say. And when you're touting your soundtrack as the fifth on your list, you know that you're looking a little thin.
yeah, well,
But I want this game. I want this game to do so well. I mean, I want this series to turn the corner. I
exactly.
really do.
Especially if this is gonna be their last year. I mean, you want to see them do well. If there's a lot of interest in the game, maybe 2K will go on making them, and if not, then it's gonna be, well, it was a good run at least, and so
I think with the series, there are things they've done well, and the thing that jumps out at me the most is presentation and the announcers
yeah,
is really what they've done well, and in kind of that
yeah,
conversational,
like
that you're actually feeling more like you're listening to a baseball broadcast than being forced on you.
yeah,
And some of the presentation elements were hit before the show where they really integrated into the season modes. But man, it's like they've never gotten over the hump with the graphics.
yeah.
I mean, you can't help but look at the series and just think cartoon right off the bat. I don't know why they've had so much problem when the player models in 2K for basketball are great
Yeah,
in comparison. And hockey was the same way. They always felt so cartoonish in the 2K hockey series. I just don't know what that's all about, and in this day and age, why they can't get over the hump on that. I just don't think that the money's being thrown into development in this series, and maybe it's because they know that it's reached its end of its cycle. I don't know, but
and that makes you sad to hear because I mean we've had it basically since the early, I mean back before there was a PS2. I mean they were making 2K baseball for the Sega Dreamcast and the early PlayStation. I mean this has gone on for 3 generations practically, and it's sad to see it go if it does end up, in fact, end. But you mentioned something about a season mode. So they said that there's going to be an incorporation of MLB Today into the season mode.
yeah, I'm looking at that as well, and I'm kind of scratching my head because I mean, pretty much everything I've read here, I feel that I've seen before. I mean, MLB Today was in
It was
last
in
year.
2K10. I mean,
Yeah, and so I mean, I just don't understand why they're trying to pass that along as a new
well,
feature.
I'm reading it, and I think, like, the way I'm interpreting it, I may be wrong, but I think that what they're saying is, like, you can play your season mode, and MLB Today will update, like, the regular games. So you can play along, like, except for, of course, like, you'd be, like, the best team practically if you were playing everybody else, but at least the rest of the league would be correct, and you could have, like, almost realistic, standings and things.
Yeah, okay, so instead of the one-off type games that were on the schedule for that day, it's incorporated into some kind of season.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see how that plays, and if that really
of
flies or
course, I'm,
not,
I'm sure
and
they'll still have the MLB Today with the one game mode, but this is just a new addition. I'm guessing.
right, exactly. Now they're touting, and a lot of the things you read from the press so far that have seen early looks at the game is this dynamic tendency
Yes.
system. They're saying that you're not going to get away with throwing the same money pitch over and over. They're going to start hitting you. They'll catch on to it. We'll see how that goes. I mean, to me, the pitching in 2K is hard enough to get the motions down as it is. When I finally get the okay gesture on my pitch, and now they're gonna time it and crank it once I get it. I mean, it sounds like a recipe for disaster in the way I pitch in this game, but we'll see how it works. I mean, I'm a little interested again to get my hands on and see how some of these things
I'm
work.
interested to
New
see.
new throw meter,
Sorry,
okay.
you go ahead.
you know, well, no, it's like okay, we're touting a new throw meter.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
you revamped the throw meter. Okay, that kind of things. There's tweaks on those things every
Yeah,
year.
exactly. They can never make up their mind on what they want the throw meter. I personally,
It's almost like they had a meeting and they said, we have to throw some specs out for this game. Can anybody come up with our best foot forward here? This is what they came up
I
with.
guess.
I don't know.
But what I'm looking forward to the most is seeing. I mean, we asked for it in 2K11 and they failed to deliver. I'm hoping they put it in for 2K12. It would be like what they did with the basketball series, where they have the press conferences at the end and all that jazz. I'm hoping they do that because that's. I mean, even they're bundling it with the NBA game. Why not put it in so that you can at least have like different like kind of like the same my player just with two different sports.
Yes, I have to completely agree with you on that. I love what basketball's done, being innovative with their my player mode, more so than any of the games so far. And the pre-draft interviews, the press conferences, all groundbreaking stuff for video games. I want to see it put into every game. I want to see it improved, do new wrinkles to it. Sports specific. And I look at what it says here, and it just you have the feeling that if they were doing it, we'd be seeing videos of this
Yeah,
because why would you not show that off?
exactly. But
But we're just not. We're not seeing anything from this game. And now with a demo set to come out on the 28th, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they're putting forward. It seems like they're really dragging
what
their
I'm
feet.
hoping that
I
they
know.
do for the demo is like they give a peek at the different modes at least, like what hockey did. Like not give you like a full
Right.
experience, but at least like let you see like what's new and let you play for a little while and then tell you that if you want to play more then buy the game because that'd be fun to see.
Well, that's how EA does their demos, but I wouldn't hold your breath with
Well,
this.
it's 2K by
I
the way,
think
so
it looks like though, however, you will get your Texas Rangers.
yeah, I will get my Texas Rangers either way. If it's the show or 2K, I will be playing as the Rangers definitely. So, um,
Now, if I were, have they actually come out and said the specs for the show demo? Have they even
that's what I
announced
was
a
going to
date for
ask
it
you.
yet?
I was about to ask if they've announced if there's going to be a show demo or not yet. Because
See, and if I were doing a show demo, I would do what they did 2 years ago, and I would not go with the World Series teams because 2K is already doing
yeah,
that. I would go with a game with the Miami Marlins in their new
yeah,
ballpark, like they did with the Twins at Target Field,
exactly.
and just give people a peek at the new park. I think it'd be one way to set your demo apart
True.
and
Yes. I mean, just the video is not enough. Give us the Atlanta Braves at the Miami Marlins and let us see what you guys have done. And I think that'll be the difference maker as far as how the games are. I mean, definitely, I bet you're going to make a comparison video of how the ballparks are looking.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be hitting all that. I definitely want to do, as I tend to do when these games come out, when the demos come
Yeah,
out, I put up raw gameplay because I'd like people to see, what it looks like when I'm not editing it down because I can sit and edit out 2K's mistakes or the show's
exactly.
mistakes, their glitches all day long. When it comes down to choosing a game, I like people to be able to see raw gameplay footage as well. So, I like to get some of that out without any of my impressions, and then I kind of get into my
Yeah.
impressions and my
What would be,
comparisons
you
as
know what
well.
would be a good demo is if they could let you at least like play as more than just two teams. Like give you a few choices, like maybe six or eight teams to choose from to play against. And
Yeah, I'm thinking of like the college football
yeah,
demo. Was it 2 years ago when they had like three separate
yeah,
matchups?
that that would be fun. But it does look like we are going to be in for some very good baseball games this coming year. I mean, in practically 10 days. Can you believe it? We are about 10 days away from the release of these video games, and
We're right there, man. People, the pitchers and catchers are in camps. So, the position players are starting to come around. I know Justin Morneau showed up at Twins camp yesterday, talked to the press today. Things are getting in full swing. It's that time of year. Doesn't seem like it outside my window here in Minnesota, but we're getting closer, and you can feel it. And it's a great time to be a sports gamer and a baseball gamer. In particular, you got well, if you have multiple systems, you got two games to choose from. If you got at least one game to throw in the console and get in that baseball frame of mind again.
Definitely, and um, with the start of baseball, that means it's almost summertime, so that means it's almost the end of school year for at least teenagers and middle schoolers and all the little kids, and that means that it's kind of a set of freedom of sorts. So thank you, baseball, for coming back as you do every spring. Looking forward to a great season. Go Rangers and go Twins, of course. Gotta give my boss's team some love. So anyway, this is thank you, nadasfan, for accompanying me, and I have a feeling
Oh yeah, pleasure's been
I have a
mine.
feeling we went way over with this commentary, but we'll have to see. This is B Wildcat 2. Talk to you guys later.